What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wheel Route Fantasy Football. We're going to jump in a fast puppy here. So if you are, I usually kind of start these before we jump on, but I wanted to give you a chance if you want to get in with me. I'm going to enter now. I'll give you 5 seconds before I actually click that button so that you have time to jump in. I'm here. I'll pop out the draft board. So I'm going to do a fast puppy just to warm up. Kind of haven't drafted yet today, so want to get my feet wet before we go into the best ball manias. I'll do at least one, maybe two best ball manias after the fast puppy. We've got 6 spots open, so jump on in if you feel like hopping in a puppy with me. I was I'm still considering hopping back on tonight. I want to make sure I hit all the Underdog promos that are coming up right about now. If you hit your little gift box there, the promos, you can see. So you get $5 fast puppy bonus entry. Oh, I did my 2 fast puppies. So there's a couple, you might have to access it with mobile, but there are a bunch of promos in the lobby. I think it's draft 4 BMs, you get one free. Draft 4 eliminators, get one free. A couple, I think it's 2 slow puppies, 2 fast puppies, something like that. There's quite a few promos. Just hit that little gift box. What's up? Firewall.work. What's up, Atticus? What's up, Best Ball on Call? Good to see you, gentlemen, or I assume you gentlemen, in the chat. Anybody that wants to jump in the chat, please do. You need to subscribe first. That's how I keep some of the bots and the riffraff out. But, clicking the subscribe doesn't harm anyone. I'll hit Puka Nakua off the bat. I mean, you could always play the subscribe, unsubscribe game. That's fine. And you never know, right? Like I actually had so my first name is Kevin, and I know there are females named Kevin. I had a student, I'm a teacher, I had a student named Atticus this year who was female. I was quite taken aback the first, day or two, but it's hard to kind of believe, but it is what it is. All right, so first round going pretty much as planned. ARSB has been climbing up above the McCaffrey Taylor, and Taylor's definitely been falling. Barkley comes in a little early. Let's see who's here. Am Pedfill, Dirty One, Rear View. I think I've seen Rear View. Ryan, Ben Weaver, I've seen in some. He might be an old school dude. Floyd, Bobby Tuggs, BGDG. I thought that was BDGE at first. Saints, Death, Seawalks, and Teasel. To each their own, for sure. I am a full believer in that. Whatever you want to be called, just let me know. And if I make a mistake, don't yell at me. Everybody makes them. All right, so first round, we see it's a little jumbled up. Jamar Chase goes before Gibbs and Robinson. I don't get the running back fall. I go with Puka. And we see Jameson, ARSB ahead of McCaffrey, Jefferson, and Barkley ahead of Taylor. And then CeeDee Lamb, Genty goes at the turn. We see Chase Brown lead off the second. James Cook at the 2.2, Marion Hampton, then Derrick Henry, Drake London at the 2.5. Yeah, I generally take CMC over JSN actually, but I heard somebody talking about JSN recently, and it kind of, or I talking about CMC recently, and he is. It seems as though, by all intents and purposes, this would be the year that CMC falls off. But he's got so CMC last year, you could see he regressed in efficiency in the run game, but the passing game took over for that, right? Like he was I want to say off the top of my head, like he was the wide receiver 9 if you're just counting his receiving points. Um, so a lot of people are taking that as an indication that he's falling off, and I can totally understand that. Sorry, I don't want to lose too much focus. So I got Puka and AJ Brown going. Um, I generally grab Brees Hall at this turn just because like there is a teardrop, or like in this situation, generally grab Brees Hall because there's a teardrop in wide receivers. But I'm gonna try the zero RB, seeing that they gave me Devontae Smith. So let me. I'm going to go 3 receivers right off the bat. I've tested this out a couple times from the 4 hole. It seems like the 4 hole is pretty conducive to, yeah. So, and that was the other thing I was going to say. CMC could decrease. He took advantage of a lot of injuries on San Francisco last year. Kittle went down. Ayuk wasn't around. Jennings was like their main receiver, and now you add in Stribling, Evans, maybe healthy Kittle, probably not to start the season, and I am forgetting somebody in there. But now you've got a lot more target competition. So at least in the beginning of the season, you might see a little dip in McCaffrey overall. But I think when we get towards the end of the season, whether they're in contention or not, they're just going to end up feeding him as long as he stays healthy. Ricky P. Oh, yeah, Ricky P. A lot of people, Matt Harmon, extremely high on Ricky P. I don't listen to Matt Harmon about a whole lot of things, but when it comes to receivers, he's the most studied receiver analyst over the past decade. Like when he first started out with reception perception, I used to call it reception deception. But he's improved everything over the years. So I kind of got to hand it to him. All right. So after I took AJ Brown, we see Nico Collins, George Pickens, Jeremiah Love, Trey McBride, Rashee Rice. Trey McBride a little early on him. T. Higgins went early, so I was able to get Devontae Smith. Then we see Zay Flowers, Brees Hall, Kyron Williams, Javonte Williams, Josh Allen, Chris Olave, Travis Etienne, and Emeka Egbuka closes out the third. Coming up to me in the fourth, I am looking. I'm probably going to go, like I've wanted to back off Loveland. I would have liked Waddle. Cam Scatterbo goes. So my choices are really like Luther Burden, Mike Evans, Colston, Loveland. And Loveland could make it back around the turn. Yeah, let me try that. I'm going to go with Burden and see if I can get Loveland to come back around. You should do the opposite. I normally do the opposite, but I have a ton of Loveland right now and almost no Burden. And that's the same week 10 bye as Devontae Smith. And I probably would have liked to, like in the 6th, 7th, I'll be able to stack. Well, I guess I can choose whether I want to stack Chicago or Philly, but it wouldn't. Yeah, that would have been my decision anyway. I could have gone with Evans there, but I have very little Burden. And to get him at the end of the fourth, I think Burden has the potential to be, I think, the next like OBJ. That's kind of how I see him. I believe they're comparable in size and skills. And so, all right, I got Loveland to come back around. So now we are going true 0 RB. Got the flex filled, got one of the onesies of premium position. I might come back in the 6th with Hertz. I'll probably like see if I can get Caleb to come around in the 7th. But you know what? Actually, if he's there in the 6th, I'm not going to play around with that stack. I got Chicago double stacked already. So, yeah, I'm leaving myself open to the 2 quarterbacks there. Yeah, I'm going for it. This is just a puppy draft. So, like, you know, you can go balls to the wall in those things. And I guess Best Ball Mania is probably better to do something like this in Best Ball Mania because you want kind of, it presents a uniqueness, especially in today's meta. Yeah, I would have a tough choice. I would have a tough time picking Caleb over Jalen Hurts, but I might have to do it in this one. I can only have one or the other because I don't want 2 quarterbacks early with the same bye week because then I'm forced into a third. And I mean, I would get somebody like Tua in the last round or Shador or something like that in the last round. But all right, so let me go from Loveland. After Loveland, we see, actually even before him, after Burden went Travion Henderson, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Joe Burrow went at the 5-1 to the Chase drafter. Wonder if, well, that's a red badge. So they've been in these before. Maybe they're just switching it up a little bit. I feel like I do see Burrow. Oh, no. Burrow probably would have ended up going to the Higgins drafter here at 3-3. Probably would have nabbed him right before it got back to him. So, all right. So the quarterbacks I'm kind of eyeing up. We still got Jackson went, Daniels went, Drake May went. So I'm going to get one of the 2. And I kind of I got to get Caleb here, right? Like I can't play around with not getting just because he's double stacked. I suppose I really could have also gotten Mekhi Lemon and see if I could push a Hertz double stack around, but not going to play around with that too much. And we can queue up a couple running backs here because it's about time, don't you think? One of these guys, the 2 or 3 hole, should have probably just grabbed Hertz and come back with Mekhi Lemon, or grab Lemon and come back with Hertz. Or this guy from the 1 hole should have double stacked it. Hertz in the 7th, man, that's super value. But as I said, I already got Caleb. Good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jaylen Warren is my RB1. That doesn't feel good at all. It doesn't feel good at all. But we'll see. You know, I could end up just going 6 receivers here. It depends. I think if I do get another receiver, it'll be strictly for whatever other quarterback stack I have. And I'm going to try to get a slew of running backs going forward. So I got this is old school true 0 RB. I think it's sexy as fuck too. After Caleb went, we saw Quentin Johnson. He's really shot up draft boards. I don't think there's any way Harrison and Lemon should go after Quentin Johnson, especially like this dude. You know, people make mistakes all the time, but why not get Mekhi Lemon at 6'10" if you know you're even considering getting Jalen Hurts at 7'3"? And on top of that, like, is Quentin Johnson has the same bye week as is DJ Moore. Yeah, I just don't. That 2 hole little faux pas there. Maybe they're at work trying to get away with something. All right. After my Warren, and I would have preferred Stevenson or Pollard to Warren, but I had to take a running back. Warren should be a safe enough floor, even with Rico Dowdle there. Rico Dowdle he was the one that had like 3 great games when Chuba went out. And they were all against incredibly bad rush defenses. So I'm not thinking Dowdle's really going to cut in on Warren. Warren's going to keep his role that he had last year or expand into more of a pass catching role and let Dowdle take over some first and second downs. Caleb Johnson, I got to keep him in the back of my mind too. I have him on a few dynasty teams, and I'm holding him, stashing him. Coming back around to me, I haven't been going over these picks at all, but that's fine. I don't think really anybody's too engaged with the pick-by-pick thing going on. I should be, just so I know who's going in here. Prescott, Herbert, Lawrence, and Mahomes all go. I never draft Kyle Monangai. There it is. But there he goes. It goes with my Chicago stack. Fine. I literally have one other share of Monangai, I think, and I took him yesterday in a slow draft just because I was like, I can't have 0 of this guy. And I heard somebody talking him up. Could have gone Laporta there for a later Goff stack. Purdy and Purcell, like at this turn, is usually pretty good. But I'm kind of going to stick with the running back meta through this next pick unless the 2 I like get snagged. If 2 I like get snagged, I might have to revert to wide receiver. All right, I won't have to revert. Fannin goes, Golden goes early there. I'm going to skip J.K. Dobbins and go with my man Jonathan Brooks. So when you building a 0 RB build this year, I think Jonathan Brooks is probably Jonathan Brooks, RJ Harvey, and like Ramondre are probably your saviors when it gets into these 7, 8, and 9 rounds. I would definitely have preferred Ramondre over Warren. I would have preferred Harvey over Monangai and then Brooks. And I feel as though that trio of backs can really supercharge a 0 RB build, or at least maintain such a floor for the RBs. And Jonathan Brooks is really upside. So Warren and Monangai, I won't be taking zeros. Brooks has the potential to be that boom running back. And I heard, I think it was Fantasy Points talking this morning about, where's all this crazy, pro Brooks stuff coming from? And they were talking about he wasn't that great a prospect coming out. I seem to remember it differently. I maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was. I thought he was drafted in the second round, but it was one of those he had already had the ACL injury, and that I thought was what knocked him down. So I'm kind of treating Jonathan Brooks as a first round rookie from 2 years ago. But I mean, if you put him in this year's class, he probably would have been the top of this year's class too. Not the top, the RB2. Let me rephrase that. Jeremiah Love, clearly the RB1, but I think Brooks could have been or would have been the RB2 in this class had he come out this year. After Brooks, we see Jackson Dart and Bo Nix go. Bo Nix has been creeping up. As soon as I start to get a little hot on Bo Nix, I feel like he's been creeping up. Jacoby Myers has been falling in sub drafts, and he shouldn't. Like, I think Jacoby Myers should be considered, right along with the Sutton, Addison, Godwin worthy kind of picks. Rashad White goes, Michael Wilson. Just want to kind of get a couple guys queued up. Shoot. All right. So he goes. Nope. He has a bye week of 10. Looks like I'm kind of forced into a Jordan Mason pick here. I would have liked to gone back to quarterback or flip it to a tight end. Jordan Mason, floor. I don't think he has any ceiling. Aaron Jones has the ceiling, but in this build, I kind of just feel safer with the Mason floor. Higgins and Kittle go after that. I want a quarterback, but Baker has the same bye week, and I am not a Shuck believer, and I don't have him stacked. I could stack him later, but it's not a stack I really like. I might just go tight end here. Yeah, I'm just going to grab Kelsey here. I could go Andrews. I actually prefer Andrews to Kelsey. I guess I probably shouldn't, but I just think maybe now that he's married, Kelsey's going to fade and drop off a little. Mark Andrews is going to be the, second targeted receiver. Shuck Red receivers are already banged up. That's for sure too. I heard somebody talking about, but Devon Vele, that makes Devon Vele a great pick in the last round. And I kind of think, regardless of their injuries or health, Devon Vele is somebody we should keep in mind for an 18th round pick in these. All right. So after my Andrews pick, before my Andrews pick went Stroud. Stroud is somebody I always look to in the 12th round as a super safe floor and easily stackable later. Backstacking with Stroud is kind of might put me in a little predicament. I see a couple of quarterbacks that I can target there. I just started Tyrone Tracy and Malik Willis, and they go right after that. So after my Andrews went Tyler Shuck, Jalen Coker, Khalil Shakur, Stephon Diggs, Travis Kelce, Dalton Kincaid is another one that has been creeping back up. He's getting a lot of hype and from fantasy analysts lately. Jake Ferguson, Chris Rodriguez finishes out the 12th, and we start the 13th or the 12th. Rodriguez finishes out the 11th. We start the 12th with Chigakonkwo, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Willis, Dallas Goedert as another one that's creeping up the more I try to get him. Woody Marks goes in the 12th. Rashid Shaheed, I think, is a great pick in the 12th. I think he's going to put up numbers this year like we saw 2 years ago when he did it in New Orleans. I'm going to grab Cam Ward here. I can backstack him later pretty easily. Baker Mayfield. How is Baker Mayfield still available? The only reason I didn't take him last round is he has the same bye week as Caleb. And I didn't want to, I mean, chances are now I'm going to get a third QB anyway, just because when I do 2 QB, it has to be like 2 between the 6th and even 10th round. So like Goff and Love, I can include in a 2 QB build. Once in a while, I sneak Mayfield in the 2 QB build. But Ward, I just don't feel comfy and cozy with as in a 2 QB build. After Ward goes Pacheco, Mayfield, Omar Cooper, Keaton Mitchell was one I had my eye on, and there's really nothing here. By ADP, it is slim pickings. Travis Hunter goes. I'm going to have to go wide receiver. I'm not going to reach for Jonah Coleman. I'm going to get Jalen Naylor, different bye week than the rest of my receivers, and I can backstack him if necessary. I do think the rookie quarterback for Vegas, Mendoza, I think he's going to get starts earlier than most people expect. So if he's available in the 15th, I'll consider it. I'd rather push him to the 16th, but let's see the turn. We got 2 quarterbacks from team 1, 2 from team 2, and 2 quarterbacks each for those first 3 teams. Any one of them could easily go 3 QB, so I might have to block in. Oh, no. That would be the 16th, but that'd be the late 16th. I don't know if he would actually come back to me then. I can always backstack Cleveland in the last round too. We'll see. All right, so after my Naylor pick goes Josh Johnson, Daniel Jones, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange, Bryce Young, Juwan Jennings, Trey Tucker, Trey Harris closes out the 13th, and then the 14th starts with Greg Dulcich. You're avoiding Rashid Shaheed, Cody Carpentier, convinced to take Trey Horton instead. So Horton would be your Cooper Kupp. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I guess they're all kind of interchangeable at a certain point. But they not only traded for Rashid Shaheed, but they paid him. Hold on one second. All right. My device is moving a little slow here today. I don't particularly want to do this. I have a ton of Tyler Algier, but it's kind of what's fallen to me there. You could, yes, I can't disagree with this necessarily. Let me get around the turn before. I can do that. Just trying to think through this. All right. I'm kind of torn now. I maybe should have reached for something else. Actually, I'm going to hope Mendoza falls because I want to secure. Actually, I'm going to secure Gunnar Helm for the stack. I always say you shouldn't reach for a stack, but I really think Helm is going to outproduce most of the tight ends that go before him. Schultz, there's just so many receivers in Houston. I don't think Schultz is going to really consistently be able to put up numbers. This is best ball, though, so it doesn't really matter. Hawkinson, I think, is dust. Terrence Ferguson has skyrocketed. But this guy in the one hole has been reaching for most of his picks or a lot of his picks. Kenyon Sadiq, rookie, hella athletic, so comparable. But Gadsden could get crunched or, his upside could be capped from the other receivers, from Kohler, a bunch of different directions. Greg Dulcich should theoretically be targeted heavily in Miami, but he's Greg Dulcich. He's like, I guess tight ends with their second or third teams a lot of times can emerge. But my point is Helm is just as good as, if not a better option than a lot of these other tight ends in this area. Dylan Sampson is the other running back I was kind of eyeing up instead of Algier. I just want to kind of take inventory of my team here. So I'm done at tight end. I can finish that up. If Mendoza doesn't make it all the way back, and he probably won't, after Sampson went Barner, Stribling, Zachariah Branch. Then we see Geno Smith, Alvin Kamara, Sean Tucker, Aaron Rodgers, Gio Bernard starts out, or Jeremy Bernard starts out the 16th with Antonio Williams. Then we see Jacoby Brissett, Cade Otton, Adonai Mitchell, Mike Gesicki. So, like, literally all the kind of late round quarterbacks, unless you're talking about Tua or the Cleveland guys, are gone. But I think I played it right, because this guy has 3 quarterbacks. If he gets a 4th, it's like, why? It's overkill. I stop at 2 QBs when I get 2 in the first 10 rounds in this meta. So, like, how I see the quarterbacks from the 11th round and later, they should all be going about 2 rounds later than they are, except maybe like Mayfield and Stroud. But getting Mendoza at 16-9 as a 3rd quarterback, I'm good with that. I am absolutely good with that. So I am done with those 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could finish with 2. Ooh. Trying to think. Ward. There's so many guys. There's so many guys in this 17th round area that I really like. Jaden Blue was one of them. I know there's probably a stack here I have left, but I didn't have it queued up because I'm talking to you guys. I'm just going to go with the guy I have tons of that. Man, he needs to make sure he's healthy for the second half of the season. That's all I really want. I'm still over 30% Tank Dell. I was at 49% at one point, so I've come down drastically. But yeah, so Tank Dell goes. I take Tank Dell there, and for my last pick, if I don't, so I definitely, there's no Chicago stacks. So bring back. Chicago bring back is Detroit. Tennessee bring back is Pittsburgh, and Vegas bring back is Arizona. So I have a bring back for Arizona. I'm sure I don't have anybody from Pittsburgh, but I can't. Jeremy Bernard, is he gone? Yeah, he left. Arizona's brought back. Chicago, Detroit. Tesla is long gone, I'm sure. Yeah, I can't think of any real conceivable bringbacks. I do have a running back stack I could team. And I'm not afraid to go just 6 wide receivers in this one. That's what I have, right? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running back. Because I went 0 RB, I tend to like a 6th running back. I started out with 4 receivers. Jalen Naylor should be fairly consistent for Vegas, seeing that, like, currently he's their, I'm going to call him a wide receiver 2, because I generally call Bowers wide receiver 1. I think Bowers is their wide receiver 1. I think hasn't been drafted yet. Tight end. Michael Mayer is their tight end 1. But as their wide receiver 2, he should be. Then there's Trey Tucker too. So it's Naylor or Tucker should kind of, I don't know, what are they going to get, 70 targets each? But that's fine this late and in this build. I could. There are, like, Jalen Noel is a wide receiver I like. But I'm just going to stack another running back with Tennessee and go Nick Singleton. I have over 30% Singleton, and he's been falling and now goes undrafted sometimes. So Devin Neal. So Devin Neal, like if Kamara decides to retire or they trade him and he accepts it, then I would probably be on the Devin Neal. But they also have there's another guy that they've had for years that have tried, Miller. I guess Neal would be over Miller. So yeah, Devin Neal's a possibility. So my team here, and I'm about to jump in a BBM draft. So if you guys want to get ready for that in a few minutes, I started out total zero RB build here. Puka Nacua, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Luther Burden, Colston Loveland. Then grabbed Caleb Williams for the double stack there. Start my running backs off with Jalen Warren. Come back with Kyle Monangai, who is part of that Chicago stack. Then Jonathan Brooks, my guy. Jordan Mason, flourish play. Mark Andrews, just kind of a guy I think is going to have one last great year. Cam Ward to get a second quarterback and come back with Jalen Naylor. I was just kind of in an empty space there. Same with Tyler Algier. I have a bunch of them. I do think Tyler Algier, at least to start the season, is going to be fairly consistent. And then they're going to have to find a role for him. Most likely it's goal line. Not that they're going to be on the goal line a ton in Arizona, but we'll see. He's too good a back to be sat on the bench for too long. Then I went with Gunnar Helm for the Tennessee stack. Came back with Fernando Mendoza to stack with Jalen Naylor. Tank Dell because I grab him a lot, and Nick Singleton because I do believe that, I mean, if Tank Dell is healthy the back half of the season, he's the league winning type. And I do think that Nick Singleton can present some major upside. He'll start the season playing special teams, but with Spears and Pollard's 29, Spears doesn't have an ACL. So Nick Singleton is one of those guys that I've been drafting quite a bit of. All right, so going to jump in a BBM draft. I'll give you guys a few seconds to jump in. Go ahead and enter now. I'll catch up to you because there is a 7-second delay here. Want to kind of get us all. Oh, jump in. There's 9 spots open in a BBM. If you guys want to jump in, go for it. Was anybody else in this puppy draft that want me to go over their team? Whenever you're in a draft with me, I will gladly go over your team. Won't charge any super chats or anything, just because I don't have that set up anyway. But yeah, please like, subscribe. Go visit wheelrouteff.com. Wheelrouteff.com. The link is in the show notes. I just put out updated best ball rankings with a downloadable cheat sheet if you become a member. So like all my articles are free to access, but the downloadable cheat sheets and that sort of thing, you got to become a member. And actually to kind of like, so I have rookies rankings out, or dynasty rankings out there. So all of those are easily accessible, but then I have a paywall at the rookies, just so the paywall. So basically all of my articles will be, you'll get a lot of it for free, but then because it has fantasy football content and because I have promotional ads from Underdog and drafters, the algorithm or Google ads won't allow me to have ads on there. So I've had to paywall just some certain things that I think are actually super valuable. Yeah. I thought about that too, because there was something. All right, we're full now, ready to go. I'm from the 4 hole again. I really hate the 4-hole, and I tend to get it a lot on stream. Looks like another Puka team. I don't think I'm going to go. So the only thing I'll change about the build I just did in this one is that in the third round, I will be getting Breece Hall if he's available. So it's kind of like I'll build similarly, but that third round where I got Devontae Smith just to see if I could get that 0 RB build and see how it would work. I will like Breece Hall is kind of my third round, no matter what kind of pick that I will juice back up, unless somehow Gibbs or Bijan fall to me in the first. I just want that hero RB build. It's kind of either hero RB, so one running back in the first 5 rounds, or like a lot of this year I've been getting 2. The 5th round is pretty, especially the 5-4 is pretty rich with that second tier running back. I guess it's third tier maybe. But there's a group of running backs in the 5th round that I like to get. So if Gibbs goes first, Bijan goes third, I'll grab Puka, and we'll start the same way we did last time. So in both drafts today, we saw Jamar Chase go in the first and then in the second, ahead of Bijan both times, ahead of Gibbs once. Kind of unusual, but I don't really get to benefit from it because I'm one pick away from where that benefit could have happened. Story of my life. Day late and a buck short. There we go. So just like we were talking about, McCaffrey goes after JSN here. Anybody else in this one? We got Moroso, Undead, something, It's Craft, Hail Murray, like that name, DBB, Dave the Champ, maybe. Yeah, could be. You know what, though? And so there's been a lot of podcast streams, whatever, analysts talking about mixing up your first 2-round picks just to get different looks, just to get unique builds. I don't think we should be doing that yet. Like, technically speaking, actually, so we're in a phase right now where kind of the only news popping up is, I don't want to say fake news, but hype. So different guys are going to get hyped. When camp starts, when we actually see, if you're only, yes, get your guy, but don't do it just to be unique. And if you're doing large quantities of these, which actually I'm not doing a large quantity, I'm not going to max out BBM. I'll max out some of the smaller ones and the smaller field tourneys, the time box tourneys. But I won't be maxing out BBM. So a lot of these, I just want to make sure. Devin, I was just about to say, I want to get my guys. Devin Achane is not my guy, but this late in the second round, when BBM first started, Achane was a first-round pick. Late first, but he was. So I'm getting unique. How many Puka Achane? Well, you know what? We could see more and more of them because Achane is falling. I don't think he should fall much further than this. AJ Brown falling was good too. I definitely could have gone there. The one problem about whether it's Drake London or AJ Brown stacking with Puka, with Puka on the same team, is they have the same bye week. And then you have your top 2 receivers on bye the same week. you're limiting your upside 1 week. It doesn't matter a whole lot in these tournaments, but it can be the difference between second and third place. And I'm still going to go Breece Hall here, even though I went Achane in the second round. I'm not sure about Achane later in the season, but I do think Breece Hall is going to have one of those breakout years. I really think this is Atticus. Yeah, you can't say no to Achane. That's kind of my point there. It's like it's just too late. You think Achane still's got RB1 overall? You know what? He has it in him. The problem is Miami sucks, and if they're 1-10, why would you put Achane out there? There's no reason. I like that. AJ Brown, Puka in a total points league. Definitely. Whoa. That's bold. All right. I like that. So I'm building the Atticus team here. That's what Atticus Wheeler team is what we'll call it. The Breece Hall is definitely my guy. Achane. So, but that was like I was talking about uniqueness. This is the Achane falling is something that counterpoints intentionally doing unique builds. We still have a month of this, and it'll be the most active news month that we see all year. We'll start to see where the pieces fall. In mid-August, that's when you can get unique. When you look at your builds and you're like, oh crap, I don't have any, Bijan AJ Brown builds. I got to do something to get that, and that actually would be a super tough build at this point. A month ago it was easy. AJ Brown was going in the third round, but you're going to see. Whoa. Oh, you know what? This is also the A Woody in the 10 hole. This is something I was thinking about the other day. If you're going to build unique, do something like this, where you get CeeDee Lamb in the first, George Pickens in the second. I wouldn't necessarily have gone Javonte in the third, but this is a Dallas build, and they've already got the Giants bring back for week 17 in it. This is I've been thinking about this. I would want somebody different than Javonte. I'm not a Javonte guy. Probably there's different directions to go in. I need to pay attention. I'll go Luther again. Luther Burden. As I said before, in my mind, he's OBJ. Just hope he stays healthy and, doesn't cause a ruckus too much. I could have gone Colston Loveland there, but I was afraid that there wouldn't be any running backs coming back to me. The one problem with getting this 2 running back build is that I want a receiver or Colston Loveland here in the 5th. And the chances of getting it are slim, extremely slim. So it looks like I'm going to have to probably go with another running back there. The one I wanted just went. I'm going to go upside at running back. I already have 2. I do think Travion Henderson. I guess I could have gone Tootin. Henderson or Tootin, I think, present the most upside. I think Tootin, if you're late 5th, late 5th or 6th, there's just too many things that can. I think Henderson is destined to be New England's primary back after their bye. I just think it's bound to happen. They drafted him for a reason, and he needs to work on his pass blocking at the pro level, but at the college level, he was extremely good at it. So they're going to integrate him on third downs. He's just an all-around, I think, better talent than Ramondre. Not that Ramondre isn't great. I don't even want to say great. Very good. But I just think Henderson kind of has higher upside. than Ramondre. Ramondre, super safe floor, has held Henderson off to this point. We'll see. It could go either way. And actually, like if Devontae Adams fell to me there, I would have been happy as a pig in shit, because I would have been eyeing up Ramondre in the 6th or 7th. But as it stands, I'm probably going to be looking at a quarterback. So Caleb, I will not get in the 6th. If I can get him in the 7th, that would be fine. I would really like to hit a receiver here, but it is fairly slim pickings. I guess if Drake May makes it to me, I might go quarterback in the 6th. I just think that's too good to pass up. But we'll see. After Henderson went Bucky Irvin, DeAndre Swift, Marvin Harrison, Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore, Jadarian Price. Tootin goes at 5'11". Price going before Tootin, I don't think I've seen so far. Then we say Christian Watson closes out the 5th. Jordan Tyson starts out the 6th. Then Jaden Daniels, Tony Pollard, Carnell Tate, Parker Washington, Ramondre Stevenson. And it is setting up so that I will be able to get a wide receiver here. But I will have a choice if Drake May comes to me. Actually, if Drake May comes to me, I will take him because that's a stack with Henderson. Although there's just another stack I could play with coming around the turn. We'll see. If Drake May goes here, Brian Thomas goes. I'm just, as I said, I'm going to draft Drake May. He is a stack with Henderson. Henderson should catch enough passes out of the backfield to make that a stack. And there, I can stack May with Dubs later. The other stack I was thinking about grabbing Mekhi Lemon here in the 6th and hoping Hurts came back. But that's what you got to look out for with that, is that Devontae Smith is sitting right there. So he double stacked Philly on that turn. I'm going to go with Jaden Reed. It's a little bit of a reach. I could have gone Caleb for the double stack. I just don't want to fall too far behind at wide receiver. And Jaden Reed's, I love stacking Green Bay later. So I passed up on Quentin Johnson just because it's difficult to stack him with Herbert. Herbert goes to pick right after him. DK Metcalf going before Jaden Reed, I think, is a minor. I have Jaden Reed ranked a little bit higher than most, I think. I just think that it's, with with Green Bay getting rid of a couple receivers there, they kind of were able to pick and choose the ones they wanted. Well, look at Caleb going at the 7.9. That's late for him, but I think this is more of actually all these quarterbacks in the 7th here are the Herbert, Purdy, Caleb, and Prescott. Like, I think they're all really good 8th round picks. Or Purdy maybe 9th round. Just this quarterback meta, they've really been pushed up, and I get it. I definitely draft them in the 7th because the meta dictates that. But in between the quarterbacks, we see Tucker Kraft go. He rarely comes back in the 8th, but I would have definitely grabbed him as a double stack there. Ken look. Not really going to look tight end here. Jackson Dart, I think that's way too early. Yeah, he's not. And Drake May has all the skills you want a quarterback to have. Like, I think there's a possibility that next year we're drafting Drake May ahead of Josh Allen, given that they've given him some receivers now. They literally have built the team around him. I just don't think there's really anything stopping Drake May from being RB1 or QB1. Ooh, no. Trevor Lawrence coming back here would have been great if I was able to get Brian Thomas in the 6th round. Patrick Mahomes goes. I'm going to grab Josh Downs here just because I already have 3 running backs. Don't have anything to stack Lawrence with. Although if Lawrence comes back to me, I will grab him because I can backstack him. I don't want to talk. RJ Harvey was a running back I was considering, but I already have 3 running backs. I honestly don't need a running back until the super late rounds. But there's one that I have a very difficult time not taking. Yeah, okay. Just kind of looking at things, seeing who's available. There's one I have running back I have a tough time not taking, and I shouldn't take him here. But if the receivers are gone and Laporta goes, so RJ Harvey, Trevor Lawrence, Laporta are like the 3 next players I had in my queue. Common guy goes. I'm probably going to go receiver here. Having a tough time. I'll go with Purcell, even though I can't stack him with Purdy. Purdy drafter's going to be pissed at me. But I have no other week 8 buys, and as I said, I was listening to Matt Harmon on Ship Chasing last night, and he really likes Purcell. So I got to give it to him on the wide receivers and go with his analysis. Jonathan Brooks is obviously the running back who I was very tempted to take, but on this team, in this build, it just doesn't make sense. But if he comes back, oh, there he goes. Okay. Came back in the 10th. There was no way I was saying no. All right. So what do I have? Just want to look over my team. Stafford went the pick before me in the 9th, which I think is a mistake. Like, I wouldn't touch Stafford until the late 10th. I have very little Stafford, but he could have been stacked with Puka. Burden, his quarterback's gone. I'm looking at a possible stack for Jaden Reed. I don't want to do the Indy stack just because I don't think Daniel Jones lasts the whole season. Jordan Love goes. Okay, so after my Purcell pick goes Rashad White, Jacoby Myers, J.K. Dobbins, Jonathan Brooks, Kenny Gainwell, Harold Fannin, Kyle Pitts. Harold Fannon's a faller too. That's a tight end I have my eye on now that he's fallen. And there was, just Cleveland's new coach, Monken, over his history, is really targeted tight end. Kyle Pitts and Matthew Golden, Jordan Love go on the 9-10 turn. I feel like it's a little bit early, but a very good turn stack on the turn. Michael Pittman goes. He was actually the next in my queue. I was considering over Purcell. Kittle goes. Bo Nix goes. Wan'Dale Robinson. Not left with a whole lot of options at quarterback. Certainly not that I have late stacks available for. I'm going to grab Kyle Murray, even though I don't have any Minnesota players yet. He's one I don't think you need a stack for. I can stack later. I'm not going to reach for that stack by any stretch of the imagination. So a naked Murray doesn't bother me a whole lot. I would have gone Goff, but I think you have to stack Goff, and I don't have anybody from Detroit. Could have gone Mayfield and backstacked them. I just think Kyler Murray has yeah, true. I don't pay attention too much to schedule in best ball, just because you're looking for peak weeks, especially with your wide receiver 5, right? Like you're going to get the bulk of your performance from your top 3 receivers and then fill in from the rest. Let me focus 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so there aren't really, looking by ADP, there aren't too many receivers. Ooh, I could have gone tight end there. I probably should have. But the only reason I go running back is it is a stack with Kyler Murray. Aaron Jones is the pass catching running back. Murray, it's kind of like the Henderson Drake May. Ooh, I forgot about Dubs. Dubs I should have gotten instead of Murray, and then maybe Murray on the bring back, or oh well. Trying to do many things at once. This often happens to me when I'm streaming. I kind of just lose track. I get on a topic, lose track of the team build, but no big deal. I got tight ends that I can use. I really don't want to stack Murray with Hawkinson. And I'm not sure. I might be done at quarterback, depending on what other stacks I can build. But missing Romeo Dubs there was a little bit. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been smarter than that. Dubs went right after Kyler Murray, then Kevin Concepcion, Jared Goff. Starting out the 11th, we see Jaden Higgins, Khalil Shakur, Baker Mayfield. I took Aaron Jones. I might be done at running back. But then again, in that like 17th, 18th round, there's a group of them that I do quite like. But it will be a while before I get another one. Tyler Shuck goes right after Aaron Jones, then Dallas Goedert, Stephon Diggs, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Tyrone Tracy. I actually like Tracy better than Aaron Jones. Malik Willis, and then Dalton Kincaid closes out the 11th. 12th, we see Chris Rodriguez, Jalen Coker, Jake Ferguson. Time for me to eye up some tight ends. Not really stacking material there. Couple of wide receivers that aren't too painful. Not going to get a running back, although I could. Yeah, so instead of Murray, maybe I should have gotten Dobbs, and then maybe Mayfield ends up coming back to me in the 11th, because there's a perfect stack for Mayfield right here, although I'm not going to grab him. I am going to grab Travis Hunter. Again, another one of those zero floor, super high upside receivers, and we see the team in the 3-hole complete the Tampa Bay stack right there that I probably maybe he grabs Mayfield before my pick anyway, and I'm stuck with Malik Willis or something there. Again, Stroud is somebody that I should have just passed on Murray, gotten Dubs. I could have gotten Stroud back in the 12th for sure. That would have been better. We can do that next round. Hopefully I don't get the 4-hole again, though. All right, so I see a stack come in. Give me my stack. Brenton Strange is all right, thank you. Hunter Henry stacks with Drake May. Got something there. Although I'm not even sure Hunter Henry is their tight end 1 after the bye. Eli Raridan, I think, could take over that tight end 1 role from Henry, or at least the pass catching duties from Henry by week 12 after their bye. I guess Daniel Jones was another So I have nothing that I can really stack late, do I? As far as receivers and grabbing another quarterback. All right. I'll just keep that in mind. So I do need tight ends. I could. Oh, so Ward goes in the 13th, and Bryce Young goes soon after him. I closed out my quarterback room. All right, there are a couple options here. Actually, there's one option that I've been playing with lately that I could go with if I get certain people to fall. I kind of hit a dead zone here where, I could go Jennings too, but he'll be gone probably by the time he gets to me. Kind of hit a dead zone here, I think. Well, we'll see. There's a few picks until it gets to me. Yeah, not completely dead yet. After my Henry pick went Zach Charbonnet, Cam Ward, Jalen Naylor, Bryce Young, Isaiah Pacheco, Trey Tucker, TJ Hawkinson. That's early for him, and he would have been a stack. I don't look for Hawkinson until like the 16th round, which I have very little, if any, of them. Tajay Spears closes out the 13th. Starting the 14th, we see Josh Johnson, Juwan Jennings. That was a possible stack. Dude in the 11th stacked Minnesota, and I got their quarterback. Then we see Ryan Flournoy, Antonio Williams, Adonai Mitchell was a possibility. I'm going to go Kenyon Sadiq. I think he's high upside, later season play, and I might be able to stack him with Geno in the 16th. I won't be reaching for Geno. No way, no how. All the Jets wide receivers are gone. Yeah, this is kind of a zone for me that I'm just like, meh. Yeah. Yeah, the only reason I grabbed Henry was because of the stack. But I guess I could have gotten Juwan Jennings. And I'm behind a tight end. Like I have zero tight end. I had zero tight end. Missing out on any type of Minnesota. Well, I guess I have Aaron Jones in my Minnesota stack. The Kyler Murray was a bad pick. That kind of threw me off. Oh, well. Devo. Yeah, I don't really like my options here at all. I might end up with Dylan Sampson just because. Hold on. I'm going to close out my tight end room. Ooh, nope. No, I'm going to grab Dylan Sampson because I timed out. But that's fine. I had him queued up. That'll close out my running back room for sure. I didn't want to grab one until late. I do think Dylan Sampson is a pretty good play there. Actually, I want to. All right. Sorry about that. Top running backs in yards per route run last season, minimum 100 routes per, I believe, is PFF. Dylan Sampson was number 2 behind Bijan Robinson with 1.86 yards per route run to Bijan's 1.88. So Dylan Sampson in that pass catching role could supply, and actually that does allow me a little wiggle room where I could do a Cleveland stack late. Yeah, I was looking at tight end coming back here. Actually, no, I need Geno coming back. Maybe I don't. After Dylan Sampson, we say AJ Barner, Calvin Ridley, Dontavian Wicks. I think Wicks is climbing up there too. Ray Davis, Fernando Mendoza, Jeremy Bernard, Isaac Tesla, Deshaun Stribling. 16th starts out with Zachariah Branch, which is another guy like late stacked with like a Tua or a Penix. Aaron Rodgers, Sean Tucker, Katron Allen. If Geno comes back to me, I will grab him just for the stack with Kenyon Sadiq. The late 16th round is fine for that. If I miss out on Geno, I will. Whoop, Jerry Jeudy goes, so I guess I won't go in that direction. So Geno's got to come to me. As far as I can tell, there's no real back stacks I can pull off that I can think of. All right, Ted Hurst goes, so I'll grab Geno. Not crazy about 3 QB builds, but as I said before, like I just don't feel super safe with Kyler Murray as my QB2. And technically speaking, Minnesota and Jets are Week 17 matchup, so they're bringbacks to each other. Don't like to do 2 quarterbacks in the same Week 17 game. You want to give yourself other game options, but I do have Drake May, which is what I'm hoping carries me in Week 17 and further. Tight end I'm looking at here. After Geno went Kate Otten, Troy Franklin, Alvin Kamara. Gunnar Helm is the one I wanted. Almost grabbed him. Actually, I almost grabbed Gunnar Helm when I grabbed Dylan Sampson. Damn it, Ferguson goes. All right. I'm going to grab Tank Dell here just because I'm addicted to him. That'll close out the running back room. And I'm not a huge like Greg Dulcich guy, and Pat Freiermuth has kind of lost his luster. I'm grabbing a tight end in the last round. Freiermuth has kind of lost his luster just because of Darnell Washington emerging. I do have a bunch of kind of guys that I really like at tight end. My tight end room is going to be weak no matter what. But if you're going to have a weak position, make it tight end. Ferguson sucks anyway. Oh, yeah, I do have Brees, too. I was thinking more that generally, like, I do like the potential Kenyon Sadiq upside, but I don't, I'm not crazy about him, but he does fit in a Geno stack. But, yeah, I also have Brees. So, actually, all my quarterbacks have running backs stacked with them, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Not optimal, but not crazy either. All right. So, tight end. All of the, like, kind of sleeper tight ends have been pushed up. Not all of them, I guess. There's a couple more I have. But Ferguson was a sleeper. Helm was a sleeper earlier. Stowers, Freiermuth, Dulcich, kind of all these guys were sleepers a month ago, month and a half ago. Michael Mayer is my guy, but he's the same bye week as Kenyon Sadiq. And with Hunter as my tight end 1, I really don't want any overlapping bye weeks. Bringbacks, Denver. I can't even think of a bringback tight end. I'm going to go Darnell Washington. I'm a believer that they're going to use him much more in the passing game this year because he lost 50 pounds. Darnell Washington has gone from an offensive tackle to a move tight end in the offseason. That's how I see it. Go over this team, and I'm going to jump in one more We got Puka Nacua in the first, followed by A-Chan in the second, Breece Hall in the third, Luther Burden in the fourth, Trevion Henderson in the fifth. I'm just looking at the receivers I could have gotten instead. Marvin Harrison got pushed up in this one. DJ Moore was looking at me. And I only get DJ Moore in Buffalo stacks with Josh Allen. There's really not a whole lot I could do there. It's not a bad pick. I feel like this is where it kind of just went, I mean, coming back with Drake May for the stack with them is great. And then Jaden Reed was a little bit of a reach. It's a tough spot there. Then I came with Josh Downs, who I think – so Josh Downs and Ricky Pearsall both were talked up by Matt Harmon. So – and I've said Matt Harmon's – like I think this is the most I've ever said, okay, I'm going to listen to Matt Harmon here. Kyler Murray and Aaron Jones, I talked about what I would have done differently there. But I'm not so sure it would have worked out if I had gone differently there. Travis Hunter was a kind of like, wasn't sure which, I wasn't positive which direction I wanted to go in. I was considering, I probably would have gone running back here if I had gone a different position in the 11th. I was falling behind at tight end, so I went with the Hunter Henry stack with Drake May. Then came back with Kenyon Sadiq because I had the idea that I would need a third quarterback. And if I could get Geno in the 16th, I would do that. I was hoping Adonai Mitchell actually went before Kenyon Sadiq. Adonai Mitchell's a guy you could grab in the 17th just a few weeks ago, but he's shot up from camp news or just hype, not even news. I went with Dylan Sampson. I talked about his upside. Then Geno, Tank Dell. Nobody has more upside as far as I can tell. And then Darnell Washington, who is going to take on, I believe, going to take on a different role this year. Let's jump in one more BBM. I'm going to give you a few seconds to jump in because this is on 7-second delay. All right, I'm in. There's still 8 open spots if you want to get in this BBM with me. Isaiah Bond, yeah, he's an 18th round guy if I'm looking for wide receiver. Was there anybody else in this draft here? I guess nobody's really. I got Atticus hanging out. Yeah. Geno, to me, he only gets benched if the Jets are really horrible. And I wouldn't bet against the Jets being horrible, but I wouldn't bet against the Jets being 500 or better either. I don't necessarily think they're going to be as bad or as awful as they have been throughout the past 3 decades. About that. Mark Sanchez was the last time they made the playoffs. Was that? I guess that wasn't 3 decades ago, but it wasn't. Was it 3 decades ago? Was Mark Sanchez 30 years ago? I think I was in college when Sanchez was putting that, getting tush pushed across the line. The only thing wrong with the Jets, really, are their quarterback and coach, which are 2 essential parts of the team. They've got a strong offensive line. They've got the receivers now. They've got 2 tight ends, young tight ends. They have one of the better backs in the league. There's no reason their offense shouldn't be going on all cylinders. Now, their defense is awful, which actually can benefit your offense, right? Like should, in theory, theoretically, for fantasy anyway, should benefit your offense if your defense sucks. I have a lot of Jets, and I kind of grab a lot of them because they're late round, free picks, essentially. Basically, the Jets are free except for Breece and Garrett Wilson. And I do grab, like you might see me grab Garrett Wilson here. This room filled. I'm in a 9-hole. I definitely prefer the only bad part about the 9-hole is that I feel like quite often you have too many options. Sure, I don't disagree with you, Atticus. I can't say that I think Sadiq should have been a first-round pick, but he was. So wasn't Kenyon Sadiq went in the first round, didn't he? I'm looking it up just to make sure, so I don't. Bleacher Report predicts Kenyon Sadiq could be Jets' biggest draft bust. Yeah. They had 3 first-round picks this year. Wow. So Bleacher Report. So two sources that I 100% go the opposite of. I don't want to say 100% of the time, but as soon as Chris Sims promotes somebody, I stop drafting him. As soon as Bleacher Report says something good about somebody, I stop drafting them. For the most part, like nothing's 100% or absolute, but I tend to disagree with those two sources quite often. All right, Jonathan Taylor goes, I'm going to get my guy. I'm going to get Ashton Genty. Now, I probably should have gone with one of the receivers because I can get a solid running back coming back. That would have been the smart move. Go with Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb. I just felt this urge to go grab my guy. Probably should have gone CeeDee Lamb there because coming back, I'll be looking at Amarian Hampton, Kenneth Walker, which I would like. But then, actually, you know what? I could go A.J. Brown. I'll go Hampton. I like Hampton. Would have been tempted if I was left with Chase Brown or A.J. Brown or Derrick Henry. I would have had a tough choice there. But to me, Hampton has immense upside this year. Sure, Kamani Vidal and the other one that's being overdrafted, Keaton Mitchell, we'll probably cut in on him some. But even if Amarian Hampton has, say, the Mostert role in the McDaniel offense, I will take that all day long and twice on Sundays. But yeah, I think as I was saying before, Bleacher Report, Chris Sims, there's a couple others that I'm just like, nope. I don't consider those viable sources of good information. All right, so after my Hampton pick, we say Achane and Henry go, then A.J. Brown, Drake London. Wow, this draft kind of separated into two halves there, as we can see in the second round. Achane, Derrick Henry, A.J. Brown, Drake London, Brock Bowers, George Pickens, Nico Collins, and Rashee Rice close out the second round. We have a plethora of wide receivers taken in the front half and a plethora of running backs taken on the right side of the board, back half of the board, whatever you want to call it. It's right side of the board. So I'll be surrounded with teams that are very much like me. So it'll be it'll be a struggle to get the wide receivers I want. but I might be able to sneak in different positions and push the wide receiver to wow. We had a bunch of 0 RBs. So we got 2, 3, 4 0 RB teams. This is going to push wide receivers up to the meta that we saw last year, where the wide receiver avalanche. We're being hit with the wide receiver avalanche right now. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to grab Lad McConkey, and in the 6th or 7th, I'm going to have to. I'll wait until the 7th, but if Herbert's there in the 7th, it's Herbert time all day long to complete that Charger stack. Not a fan of Kyron. Just think he's a total floor play and no upside with Blake Corum going. Malik Neighbors, I would have loved in the 4th. We might be looking at, no, I know what I'm going to do in the 4th. There's somebody, there's 2 wide receivers in the 4th that I like. Travis Etienne is still here in the 4th, which I think is huge value. Yeah. And he goes, so we see Kyron, Malik Neighbors, Javonte Williams, Josh Allen, Travis Etienne, and Josh Jacobs. If I, went with a receiver in that 2nd round, I would have been eyeing up Josh Jacobs. I'm torn between Tet McMillan and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle is starting to scream up draft boards, and I do think he's a huge value, but I do think Tet McMillan has the potential to be the next top tier wide receiver. I don't think he's CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, ARSB tier like this. I don't think it's 1st round, but I think next year we could see him certainly going towards the end of the 2nd round. He just needs his quarterback to step it up. Could have gone Garrett Wilson there. He was also kind of one of those guys that, yes, I do think he's overrated, but I think in the 4th he finds his value. I would have grabbed Waddle ahead of him. Just literally everybody I listen to, which is like the ship chasing kind of universe, broaden that out. I listen to a lot more than just ship chasing, but everybody has been pumping up Waddle, even their guests that come on. So I need to, he's moving up in my ranks, and actually I got to double check to move him up further. That was my decision, Waddle or Tet. Garrett Wilson would be right behind them. I like Wilson better than McLaurin. Probably evenish with Burden ahead of Williams, like ahead of the rest of the receivers there. After Waddle, we see Loveland, Scatterboo, Terry McLaurin, Burden, David Montgomery, and J-Mo closes out the 4th. Starting the 5th, we see Devontae Adams, Mike Evans, Joe Burrow, Bayshell Tootin, Lamar Jackson. That's early for Burrow again. Quinshon Judkins goes. All right. Again, I have 2 quarterbacks. There are 2 running backs, 2 receivers. I don't really want a running back, although Travion Henderson is staring me in the face. I'm gonna reach and grab Carnell Tate just because I know around this turn you're gonna see DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, Brian Thomas, and probably Jordan Tyson go. There you go, Bucky. That dude in the 10 hole has 4 running backs. He could go the 4 and stop. I could see that. Travion Henderson goes after that. So maybe Henderson was the bet there. But if you're going to leave me another receiver, and I could go Jadarian Price, but Yeah, I might as well go Jadarian Price. I don't have a whole lot of him. He's got a different bye week than Genty and Hampton. Pretty much locks up my running back. I really don't have to grab one until super late. Uh, Jordan Tyson was, and actually maybe I have to move by about the end of the third, beginning of the fourth round. I switch my queue from my rank to ADP just so I can kind of identify values. I think if I had had it on my rank, I would have gotten Marvin Harrison there. I do think Marvin Harrison is being vastly underrated. Although, yeah. So Harrison, I could see. I guess he's going at his present and current value. But I could see Harrison having a breakout year this year, and all of a sudden next year we're drafting him that in that end of the second, beginning of the third kind of round meta there. After I take Price, we see Jordan Tyson, Marvin Harrison, Drake May, Tyler Warren, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Tony Pollard, Chuba Hubbard to close out the sixth. Starting the seventh, we see Alec Pierce, DK Metcalf, Dak Prescott, to the team in the two hole that started out with 4 wide receivers and now has 3 quarterbacks. Dead team. But this is going to kind of push up quarterback, and I'm eyeing up a particular quarterback here, although Jalen Hurts is still here as well. Okay. Don't snipe me. Please don't snipe me on my quarterback. Please don't snipe me on my quarterback. Please don't snipe me on my quarterback. Thank you. You took Quentin Johnson. I'm able to stack Justin Herbert with Hampton and McConkey. Feeling okay. Feeling actually quite good about this team now. Like my options coming back. Will not be getting a running back. Do like Trevor Lawrence coming back, but probably won't. I like Trevor Lawrence because he's easy to backstack too, but he just got the same bye week as Herbert, so no go there. Harvey, I think, is in the 8th round is a definite yes, please kind of pick, but I already have 3 running backs. This is why, like last round, getting Price, it's kind of like the 2v2. Do I want Tyson and RJ Harvey, or do I want Price and whatever wide receiver? Ooh, I might be locked out. If I'm locked out at wide receiver, I will get RJ Harvey. I think. There's actually 3 wide receivers here I like. So Lawrence goes. All right. So I have the choice of Godwin or Jordan Addison. No, I will go with Addison. Makes my decision for me. I like Addison a lot. I don't think a lot of people do. Don't get me wrong. I liked Addison and Godwin better when they were going in the late 9th or even the 10th round. But Addison has that wide receiver 1B upside. He was a first-round pick. He has had some off-the-field issues, which has knocked him down. He served a suspension last year, so anything we hear about, unless he violates probation like Rashee Rice does, we should be fine with Addison. I like the pick. I think he's undervalued, even though he has moved up. My other thought besides RJ Harvey would have been Worthy. Worthy's been climbing up as well. And actually, that Worthy drafter might end up with Mahomes. And if he does, man, that is quite possibly the luckiest. All right, now Mahomes goes on the turn along with Jackson Dart, which is crazy. So after my picks, Harvey, Worthy, Rico Dowdle, Ricky Pearsall, Kyle Monangai, Sam Laporta, Michael Pittman, Blake Corum to close out the 8th. Starting the 9th, we see Mahomes, Dart, Dobbins, Stafford, Purdy. Looks like there's a quarterback run. Goff goes off. I'm not gonna. My favorite running back is coming back to me. I'm just gonna secure a quarterback. I like Bo Nix a lot. Actually, I probably should have just gone with my guy and then gotten Kyler Murray on the bring back. But I can stack Bo Nix late. And I'm just trying to think what other. Yeah, I the last 2 rounds, I can stack Bo Nix with some stuff that makes that a worthwhile pick. Why didn't I see the tight ends there? I do like both Fannin and Pitts. I think those are good picks. We see Michael Wilson. I was like, no thanks. Jordan Love goes. You probably will see him stacked with Golden there. It's actually 2 running backs I like here, and I don't have any need for running back. Kyler Murray goes. So maybe Kyler Murray wouldn't have come back to me. So maybe I didn't make a horrible pick there. The smart move here is to get another wide receiver, getting Wan'Dale Robinson. But man, Jonathan Brooks just fell to me in the 10th. I was debating between Nix and Brooks in the 9th. So looks like I did it right. I'm cool. Cool and the gang. I'm going to actually just remove running back from my queue. If I'll open it back up in the super late rounds, but so I'll just share. When I'm done at a position, I just close it out. So all I see are the positions that I want to draft left in the queue. Although Herbert Nix, I could go. So probably in about the 16th round, I'll open back up the running back and quarterback just to see if there's fallers there that I want to scoop up some value or some stack somehow that just kind of falls into my lap. But until then, I will focus on positions of need and hope I get guys I like coming to me. And when you do that, it kind of always feels like, ooh, look, I got a value. Ooh, look. I don't know. I feel like it does. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. What were you saying back here? Real good. I can't really. My eyes, I need glasses so bad. I need glasses so bad. It's ridiculous. I've never even been to an ophthalmologist. Anyway, after Brooks goes Tyler Shuck, George Kittle, Kenny Gainwell, Rashad White, Jaden Higgins, Mason, Concepcion, and Wan'Dale Robinson closes out the 10th. The 11th starts with Kelsey, Likely, Aaron Jones, Coker, Mark Andrews, Chris Rodriguez. All right. I was just looking if there's any tight ends I would want to stack. Not really. I might. The one problem with Gadsden, waiting on Gadsden pick, is that you're going to pass up tight ends like Kincaid or Chigakonkwo. I'm going to go with Kincaid. There's a lot of hype pieces coming out about Kincaid now. He's going to start to really climb up draft boards, and actually he already has. But there's some very high tight end, he could be a top 5 tight end if he stays healthy. No, I like Amaticus. It's part of the streaming thing, right? Like I want people to chime in. I want people to comment. So like I know I don't have to, but I really like being able to use that interaction piece. Which is why you do YouTube instead of just straight podcasts. Like nobody really wants to see my face. That's why I barely put myself on here and stash myself in the corner. Believe me, you don't want to see this. I would definitely lose followers. Goddard is a tight end I like, and normally I really love stacking my tight end, but Bo Nix has no tight end, so I can kind of go freely there. And Herbert, yeah, I like stacking Gadsden later, or a couple rounds, but Gadsden should fall further with this Kohler kind of news. And I just feel as though the week 7 tight ends, especially later, there's Kincaid, there's I had a Chigakonkwo, there's Gadsden, and there's another one. Brenton Strange. So all 4 of those guys I like in this range, but kind of like if you get one, getting another is kind of not optimal. Although with Goddard, I feel like Goddard's going to be consistent enough this year, at least until his bye. We could see the rookie Stowers kind of take over the move tight end part of his role. But Goddard does line up in line. He's been consistent for him throughout the years without A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. He's succeeded. But really, like, Mekhi Lemon, I'm in my head is like, let's say he's 80% of the output or 80% of the targets that A.J. Brown is leaving behind is probably going to go to Mekhi Lemon or Dontavian Wicks, I guess. I just think Goddard's still going to have a consistent role, 5-6 targets a week, and just kind of give me that floor play so that I don't mind grabbing. Maybe I will grab Gadsden if he comes to me. He's coming up in ADP. Oh, he goes. All right, so crap. I might just grab Trey Tucker. I really don't have much of him at all. He should see some targets, right? Other choices. I guess I could have gone Denzel Boston. I don't have much of him either. Flournoy's come up way too much. Trey Harris is sitting there for the stack. I might do that. 7, 5, 9. Yeah, I got 5 receivers with different bye weeks. I could do I don't need to double stack at this point, but wouldn't be totally against it. I will go. I could do Sadiq. I'm gonna push tight end a little further, see what I can get away with. Boston, Debo, or Trey Harris? What do we think? I have plenty of Debo. I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna skip the stack and just go Denzel Boston. How many wide receivers I got now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, that's right. So I only have 2 quarterbacks and 4 running backs. It's leaving a lot of room for receiver if I want it. But coming up in the last 4, are there any running backs that? Yeah, I could have gone Trey. Yeah. There comes a point, though, Actually, Trey would have been good. Trey would have been good because I don't know how good McConkey's going to be this year. I didn't get Gadsden, so Trey might have been the pick there. There comes a point where stacking can be a bit of overkill. Trey Harris probably isn't it. Like I can think of some guys that are going later that, I need to stack Bo Nix later. I should have. So I'm going to save my wide receiver pick till a bit later. Oh, it depends too. Sorry, I got quiet there. I'm just looking and thinking. Bring back for LAC is KC. Bring back for Denver is New England. Deebo Samuel's still there. Deebo Samuel makes it all the way back to me. How do I say no? Thank you. I'm gonna grab Gunnar Helm here. Close out my tight end room. All right, there's no real quarterbacks to speak of that I would want. Sorry, I keep flipping the board. I just want to kind of scan and see real quick. I might just think about reaching really far for no reason whatsoever other than why not for a wide receiver stack. Because at this rate, I could go running back. I'm just going to grab Pat Bryant now. Yeah, like I usually save him for a 17th or 18th round pick. But I definitely want to stack Bo Nix. And I think Pat Bryant's a great way to do it. The difference between your 16th round pick and your 18th round pick is completely negligible. So why not reach a couple rounds to just make sure? You think Kamara? I have like zero Kamara. I don't think he's going to be anything. I don't think he's going to be anything in the playoff weeks. But let's see. If he comes back to me, I'll certainly grab him. It was a few picks past ADP. There are a bunch of running backs in the 17th round that I kind of like. And the reason I don't reach for any of them is because there's a bunch of them there. Ooh, did Marshawn Lloyd went in the 16th. So that's another example of just go ahead and get your guy if you want him. 16th, 17th, 18th round, all the same. I was considering Zachariah Branch. If I didn't have Denzel Boston, I might have grabbed Judy. Those are guys I think are undervalued. Leg up, Pat Kerrane has been pumping up Jeremy Bernard a bunch, so I need to keep him on my radar. But as we go through, not a whole lot of guys. There goes Kamara. I'm a Mims guy, but yeah, like it could be any of them. I definitely really like the potential of Jaden Blue. So I'm just going to grab a 5th running back for the hell of it. And I could go Franklin. I could go Mims. Whereas Mims is far down. I can't even find it. I should type it in. And then there's always Tank Dell just sitting there tempting me. Somebody grab Tank Dell for me. So I'm not tempted by him. So Troy Franklin obviously was played with Bo Nix in college. So they have that shower narrative going. They're close friends. But I just think Mims has that higher upside spark, especially late in the season, along with some special teams kind of things that can happen. I probably should grab Troy Franklin here, but I'm a Mims guy. I'm gonna get my guy. Like if I was maxing this, I would probably have gone Troy Franklin there, but I just grab a double stack for Denver at the end there. The only part of this draft where I was a little bit like squeamish and squiddish was this 13th, 14th to the Trey Tucker, Denzel Boston. And maybe it wouldn't have been a bad idea to grab a third quarterback there. How many? I ended with 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 receivers, and 3 tight ends. Might have squeezed the quarterback in there in that 13th, 14th round. And maybe this is a slightly better build. I think if Cam Ward would have dropped to the 13th, which I guess he doesn't always, it probably would have been a little bit behind ADP. I would have done that. Bryce Young, I don't really look at into the 15th. The quarterbacks just went a little bit earlier in this one than they did in the last one. And this is that 3 quarterback meta we talk about. And I could have stopped at running back and maybe gotten a Zachariah Branch, stacked them with Tua later. There's a couple of options I like to keep open, but I don't have many of these Denver stacks, and I'm happy to get it at the end there. So, reviewing, I started out with Ashton Genty and Omari Hampton, came back with Ladd McConkey and Tatori McMillan. And then in the 5th, I grabbed Carnell Tate, kind of passing up Trey Henderson. Wanted to build my wide receiver room. And then coming back, I didn't think I could really turn down Jadarian Price in that. I guess I could have, but it was Tyson. I didn't see Harrison. I probably would have grabbed Harrison had I seen him. Then Justin Herbert in the 7th to stack with McConkey and Omari Hampton. Came back with Jordan Addison in the 8th, Bo Nix in the 9th, Jonathan Brooks in the 10th, Dalton Kincaid in the 11th, Goddard in the 12th. And at this point, I'm just trying to kind of build up my tight end room so I'm not left vacant like I was last draft. Grabbed Trey Tucker in the 13th, Denzel Boston in the 14th. I talked about what I might have done differently there. Gunnar Helm in the 15th. I like Helm a lot. It would have been a perfect kind of build if I was able to just get Cam Ward here in the 13th, come back with Helm, maybe squeeze in another stack late. But then stacked Pat Bryant and Marvin Mims with Bo Nix, snuck in a Jaden Blue. Probably not totally necessary, but I really think Jaden Blue's role is going to really expand this year. I was not on Jaden Blue at all last year. Thought he was a knucklehead, but so far all reports are that he's kind of getting his head on straight and getting it together. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to oh, shoot. I wasn't showing you guys the board at all. Sorry about that. I thought I was showing you guys the board the whole time. I flipped at one point. My bad. I like to show the board. It's all colorful and pictures, and you guys can really see what's going on when I show the board. But was there anybody else in the chat that might want me to go over their team or any teams that you think might be worth going over. If not, what I'm going to do is I'll hit a couple of my slow drafts, just show you what's going on there, and I want to bring you up to at 2 o'clock. The ship chasing are drafting a FFPC main event. So that'll start in a few minutes, and I'll close out when that starts. But I'll hit a couple of the slow drafts here just to kill the next 5 minutes to bring you up into that spot. And let me show you the board. Let's go here. This isn't working out the way I wanted to. Okay. Where am I? I'm in the 10 hole here. Got CD, Barkley, Travis Etienne, Tet, Carnell Tate, Brian Thomas, Trevor Lawrence. Wow, this team's nice. When I came back with Addison, a lot of the same guys here. I got a double stack of Jacksonville here, like that. I got 3 running backs so far. Could certainly go tight end if there's one available. Let's see. I got in my next in queue here is Rashid Shaheed. Quarterbacks flew off this board. Oh no, why didn't I have Baker start? So I had Cam Ward start because I have Carnell Tate. I could do a Baker back stack, but I think what I'll do, I might grab a tight end. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking at in a second. Just want to move. I have Strange queued up, but Strange should come back to me, or could come back to me at 154. So I'm going to leave him there. This sets up nicely for Dalton Kincaid. But as I was saying before, he is a week 7 bye. I could get Goddard here. I got to switch to ADP. I had it on my rank. I'm probably going to grab Cam Ward here in the 12th to stack because Murray's gone. I guess I could wait on Carolina, but then I would feel like I still feel like I need 3 either way. And there's always Rashid Shaheed. I hate when I got 3 guys for 2 picks. Shaheed, Goddard, because I'm going to come back with Ward. I need tight end more than I need wide receiver. I might be able to stack some tight ends late. The one benefit of Shaheed, no, I wouldn't end up being able to get Darnold anyway unless I grab them ahead of Ward. What the heck? I don't have enough Shaheed. I'm going to grab Shaheed. It gives me the option of Ward or Darnold coming back in case one of them gets snagged. There's so many strange things. I'm not a Khalil Shakir guy. DJ Moore works best out of the slot, although they can move him around anywhere. Kincaid, Shakir, I feel like put up his best weeks when Kincaid went down. They just spread the ball around so much in Buffalo. And I just definitely think so. I'm soft fading JSN, meaning like I have him ranked after McCaffrey, Genty, and Taylor in this CD Lamb Jefferson. But in best ball, I tend to grab him just to get him. I think JSN had, I think it was a 34% target share last year. Impossible to keep that up. Impossible. So if even 6% of that goes Rashid Shaheed's way and then he earns other targets, I do think Shaheed is going to really emerge this season. I think it's him. I think Shaheed is going to surprise people this year. I think next year we're looking at Shaheed in that 7th, 8th round territory there. You could be right, though. I could be wrong. I'm definitely not right most of the time. Well, I'm right more often than most. Actually, it's time for me to brag. Fantasy Pros came out with their most accurate drafters from last season. I wasn't one of the most accurate drafters last season. I was 26th most accurate as far as their rankings. But when they show you the past 3 years, who's been like accurate, most accurate over the past 3 years, I got in the top 10. I'm the 9th most accurate draft rankings analyst in their database of over 250, I think. So I know what I'm doing sometimes. And then now I just need to monetize that, right? Or at least more. I'm not rich. I'm not rich off fantasy football either. I'm barely above even at this point. But when you're playing tournaments like this, your ROI is shot unless you hit. 3 years ago, I had my best year on all platforms. Like I was able to profit a little bit on Underdog. I think I profited 3 years ago. I think I profited everywhere, but the biggest hit was the NFFC where I got 4th in their best ball tournament. So then, the following year I decided to hit all of the like main events and silver bullets and all the other stuff, and took a little hit the following year. But overall, probably up just slightly. Definitely not betting with house money yet, but hopefully this is the quest to get there. All right. Going to do one more slow draft before I let you go. Show you the board. Where am I here? 12-hole. Jefferson, Barkley, Kyron, Malik Neighbors, Christian Watson, Brian Thomas, Trevor, another Jacksonville stack here. Jonathan Brooks showing up. Kyler Murray. Man, I guess I have a type. Yes, I was the most accurate for the first 6 weeks in season last year. I finished 20. In fact, I finished in the top 20 of the in-season rankings. I want to say like 7 out of the last 10 years. Like my in-season has been pretty strong. And I guess my draft, I got a top 10 in draft rankings in 2017. And then I got a couple top 5s positionally in 2019 and 2020. But for the most part, it's been my in-season rankings that have done the most work for, my following or what have you. But yeah, so overall pretty happy with what I'm doing. Just need to turn that into a big prize. All right, so I have Murray stacked with Jennings, Coleman, Chig. Do I have, for some reason, I have Geno Smith up here in my queue, but I don't even think there's any Jets to pair with him. Got Jacksonville double stacked, Denver, Green Bay, Giants. All right, so this, I have Minnesota double stacked too. Yeah, I'm definitely going to take Geno out of my queue there. If I want a third quarterback, it'll be a long shot one. I got Terrence Ferguson queued up. 2 quarterbacks. What am I showing here? All right, I got the draft board up. I have 4 running backs. Could grab another running back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 wide. I need tight end. I'll go with T-Ferg. I know he sucks, according to Atticus here, but I was hyped on him last year as a rookie, and the reports are really that they're going to use T-Ferg as a third receiver, not a mix-in tight end. So a lot of the 12 and 13 sets you saw last year were because they were using Ferguson as a receiver. The overall meta is this, like, a lot of teams trying this, but the teams that are trying it have that really good move tight end that they use as a receiver, and that's for T-Ferg. So the hype on him really revolves around that he's going to be a receiver, not just a tight end. And then I'm going to grab Jaden Blue again. I think. Is there something else? Jaden Blue's bye week just fits in nicely. He's not really a bring back on anything, although he might be later. All right, I'm just going to grab Jaden Blue and call it a day. Pleasure hanging with y'all. I will definitely be on around this time tomorrow, maybe a little bit earlier tomorrow. I might come back tonight, but Friday is the day I plan on really. My girl is out of town on Friday, so I might just marathon the hell out of it. I just plan on trying to do a lot. Could have gone Ray Davis for sure. For sure. All right, you guys, go over to Ship Chasing. They're doing a main event right now. Should be good. Other than that, go visit wheelrouteff.com, and then check me out on Blue Sky. You can, or when you go to the website, wheelrouteff.com, look for the Discord link. Join my Discord, and we can talk a bunch. Until then, have a great day. Check ya.